Hi, I'm Dustin GOEDDE, a student with Lamar. I am pursuing a principal certification, and I did a field video with a cohort of other teachers to discuss the effectiveness of professional development, and with a target, or an agenda rather, that focused on skill acquisition, content mastery, and helping students to achieve a high level of academic success. And the agenda for this meeting, or this cohort, was to discuss those three topics, and I believe that it was followed and met. The objectives that I had set for myself was to have a candid discussion with the cohorts about their feelings and their professional thoughts on how professional development is managed, guided, and the effectiveness of it in attaining professional skills, content mastery for the classroom, as well as helping their students to achieve at a high level. And I believe that those objectives were met. Time management, I feel it went fairly smooth. It simply required prompting them with expectations for what I was needing, and short of that, it was pretty easy to get everybody on board. The collaboration effort between the cohorts seemed to go very well. It was an easy discussion, and I think people genuinely listened. And I think that's evidenced in the responses that you will see in the video, and the relevance of the topics was, I believe, on target. There was only one time that I had to redirect the conversation back towards the specificity of professional development. So I feel like the evaluation of the meeting itself was highly successful. I feel like the participants were comfortable, had clear expectations, and went very smooth. There was very little complications, if any at all. At least if there was, it eluded my attention. The outcome of my field experience activity, using the what, so what, now what reflective model, I think back on the focus of the meeting as being what are professionals, the teachers, a view of professional development. Unfortunately, our field has a bit of a negative view towards the participation in professional development, but on an individual basis, it seems like it is positive, but a drudgery nonetheless. Something that's necessary, a hurdle that they must complete. And jokingly, the participants wanted to say, or they kept saying, that this is our opportunity to vent and complain, to critique, and to set the record straight, to quote one of the participants. But I didn't get that level of criticism in the interviews, and a lot of them tended to go towards this positive attitude. And so their focus was about highlighting some of the benefits and talking about what they did enjoy about it. And to me, that is counterintuitive. I feel like while teachers tend to criticize professional development as a whole, if it's performed correctly, it can be a very positive and beneficial experience. And I think we know that as professionals. So what does that mean? I believe that administration has the responsibility to help teachers understand the value of professional development, to really highlight it or frame professional development as something that can only make their lives better, that would help them in the classroom, make them more effective teachers, and to help students in a way that we all desire to do. And I think when it's framed that way, then we tend to engage, we as in teachers, we tend to engage in the professional development much more fluidly. And that's really what I discovered to be reflective in some of the responses and some of the scenarios brought up during this cohort. So what I'm going to do now, using this understanding, is when we design professional development, it needs to be with an understanding of what teachers need. The last thing you want is for them to view it as something that is a waste of their time, something that can be accomplished through an email or done on their own. But when they're forced to bring people together, there has to be a value to it. And I think if you can relate it to their content or relate it to how they can develop relationships or develop skills that they can use in the classroom, it tends to leverage itself for them, and that's how we've ended up with such a positive attitude. And I believe Klein ISD to an extent has done that very well, which is why the teachers that were from Klein ISD spoke very highly of some of the professional development that it is using. My change in perspective as an instructional leader following this field activity is that I didn't realize there was such a positive attitude towards, or that there could be a positive attitude towards professional development. Personally, I kind of enjoyed it. It's hit or miss. But once we all got together and we started to candidly talk about it in this field exercise, it really was a positive attitude. And I think that can be achieved. I think it can be a positive thing, coming together as collaborators and sharing best practices and really just improving as a professional. What was surprising was how these conferences have changing. There was a couple of examples where our cohort teacher, Ms. Harkey, was talking about how she actively engaged, where she'd get out, they got out of the chair and they would work with the instructors, and this experience translates directly to the classroom because if she becomes a professional or an expert, and then the kids validate what she's saying because of that expertise. And so what I believe should happen is that administration needs to help teachers feel confident in the classrooms by helping them to master their content. Because if you are a master of your content and you have built relationships, I don't understand how you could fail in the classroom. And so by creating a blend of these two focuses, I think that teachers will see professional development as highly relative and engage naturally, which I think engagement was used quite often within our cohort. And I think best practices moving forward is to personalize learning for teachers, just like we try to personalize learning for students. So I think opening communication with your teachers to where they give you feedback on what they want or what they need is the first step to creating engaging professional development.